Yes. So, my friends, we are slowly moving to the Sadhana Panchkam, that is another text which has 5 verses, and each verse has 8 steps. Why I have taken up this? So that you bring this Eastern wisdom into your daily life and live. Yes, people you have might have seen the realized and awakened people, but how they think, how they speak, and how they act, that is very important to understand. And these 40 steps helps us to realize and discover, oh, how they live. This is the way they live. They don't become upset, yes, but it does not impact them. Their mind experiences the sorrow and the pain, but it is too far. They don't take it. They find that it is too far. How it is possible? That is where the awakening comes. But first thing first, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. You already know Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will again ask you to put you onto the track. Did you practice japa in the last 2 or 3 days since our last session? Answer is yes. How many times you forget and how many times you remember? That is a good point to know. Yes, I remembered, I forgot, and I started it again. So what is happening that you shift your mind from the external world of delusion to the world of reality. That is very important to do it. Are you applying these principles in daily life? And if you remember, then you can apply. If you remember, you apply. So if you remember and you apply, what is going to happen? You have for example, you have a sense of anxiety and you recognize anxiety is not my nature. Who recognizes it? Is your mind. Oh, it's not my nature. So there is a point of discernment. Now anxiety is separate from you, and that you is the real self. What happens? You not only minimize the impact of anxiety, but you also discover. So how long it takes to happen? It happens in a fraction of a millisecond. Fraction of a millisecond. How long it takes for the mind to remove the delusion? Instantly. It, I would say, it doesn't even take a. So what happened? That imagined projection, imagined pain, or imagined pleasure, which is a delusion, drops by itself. Who are you? Oh, I am Christina. Now you see that where the ignorance has gone, how long it has taken. If I ask you where is the real self, what the mind says. That is why we have 40 steps. Do you see that? We are. So, do you? I believe you remember this master. The same master has written this text. The previous text we had done, where he points out pranayama, pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, And discernment, three practices. Fourth is the japa, and the fifth is the meditation. So the entire this new text, Sadhana Panchkam, helps us to remain absorbed into the state of meditation. Means what? The ignorance is at the bay, at a distance. I recall transactional reality. What is transactional reality? I am a teacher, you are a student. This is a transactional reality. So, what is before that? What is the intellectual and psychological and deluded or dream? They belong to one category. I dream and I see the tiger is chasing me. And once I wake up, that tiger is gone. But I have the feeling of sweating is there, palpitation is there. It is in it is in Eastern wisdom is known as pratibhasik reality. It is the intellectual or psychological or mental or deluded reality. So in dream, the moment the dream breaks up, I return to the waking state, it is gone. Problem is there. What is the problem? I have one deluded reality in the dream. I have another delusion in the waking state. So I fall from one delusion to the another delusion. Are you getting it? This is also delusion. Oh, you are my honey, you did not listen to me. In the waking state, I have lot of challenges. Do you see? I have lot of challenges. The moment you wake up, oh my my spine is aching. You know, my son is not listening, and long list, long list. Do you see? So this second level is the transactional reality. What you can say, the applied reality. What is applied reality? I have to wake up and take a bath and get ready for a session. This is also a transactional reality. What is we are searching? We are searching the absolute reality. So you see, there are three levels of realities. Our masters recognizes. They don't refuse it. They don't refute it. Transactional reality. Yes, at a particular time I have to be online to to meet your needs and requirement and your commitment to the journey. So the same way you also do it. But the absolute reality is what the real self is. The real self is the supreme self. Supreme self is what I discussed in a seminar here is Sat Chit Ananda. Does the Sat Chit Ananda has any shape or find out? But before that, you find out mind gets the knowledge of everything. Does the mind has any shape? Answer is no. If the mind does not have any shape and it gives me the knowledge, what is behind mind? It has to be formless. Why it is taking time? This mind is already obsessed with knowing something, with the name, with the form, with the change, with the birth and the death. And what we are searching? We are searching nameless, formless, birthless, deathless entity. That results into awakening. Awakening when? In dream, not possible. In sleep, not possible. In waking state, possible. But in when waking state, when? All the time. Where? In all, everywhere. That is the meaning of awakening. Everywhere. Huh? So we are treading the path to find the absolute reality. And the highest practice is the meditation. But don't forget the four groups. If you forget the four groups, or if you forget the four groups, what is that? The world is suffering with the nine factors. So instantly you remember, oh, I did not examine my life. What is happening? And that is why I have a stress. And instantly you recognize which practice works here, the power of discernment. Pranayama, pratyahara, discernment. And the japa. Or you simply, oh, I have it in, let me, Om Shanti. Let me do it. So I return to my purified state of the mind. Then it moves into the state of a dispassion. The world is suffering. Second group is the remedy is the satsang. 2L CRP. Listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, and the practice. Then what happens? I realize and I experience the changes in my life. So those experiences gives me a clear understanding. Yes, there is definitely something beyond it. That is why I got out of the anxiety, I got out of the reaction. Huh? That is where problem. And the fourth one is the self-remembering. I said, repeat, remind, revise. Now, what is mental purification? I just summarized the righteous intellect, dispassion intellect, love intellect, the real self intellect. So that intellect should absorb into the real self. That is what the real self intellect is. So that is what. So how this intellect works? It works with the power of faith. It works with the power of decision. Power of decision. I have an anxiety, so I carry forward that anxiety. Why don't you listen to me? I'm in anxiety. Give me a space. What is anxiety? Do you know? Unfounded worries. So now, what the mind in delusion decides that if I continue to worry with these sensations that I experience, I will get out of anxiety, which is not possible. This is another delusion. So, what is that? Power of a decision is required, and then power to hold on to that decision. I remember, oh yes, Om Shanti is very important not to continue to worry. That kind of an attitude enters in our life. And then the power to regulate. When you power to regulate, that is another way of understanding what is meditation. Don't even forget. Don't even forget uh, the example of a crow, swan, dog, measure diet, and understanding and reminding yourself that I am not the body. The moment you are a body, since our birth, the mind gathers the impression that I am the body. Now you take one example. First, I am the body. Only then I am a teacher. You are the body. Then only you are a seeker. You are a student of this journey. In transactional reality, I play with it. Okay, I know it's a transactional reality. Real self lies beyond this. So, how I explain that part? I explained by the 5E: engagement, education, not you don't educate others, educate your own mind. Empowerment. From once you empower the mind, for example, you empower the mind with a peace and calmness. You empower the mind with the mantra, japa all the time, whenever you remember. So that is empowerment. It helps you to move to the subjective reality. And once it moves your mind to the subjective reality, the evolution starts. The evolution is a vertical rise in consciousness. Until the empowerment, it is a horizontal. I'm stressed, so I'm relaxed. I'm stressed in a particular time, I'm relaxed. I have an anxiety, now I don't have an anxiety. So it is moving the same trend of horizontal consciousness. You have read or you have seen or you might have practiced the kundalini meditation, the root chakra. And then you move to the second chakra. It is an evolution. Third chakra, fourth chakra, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So that is what the vertical rise of the consciousness. That is another way. I will explain it. So once you start evolving, you rise in consciousness, you recognize uh, what reality I was thinking, experiencing. I find another level of reality. What is that? Just to give an example. Now you have an anxiety, so you have also a bigger smile. Why you have a bigger smile? Thank you, anxiety. You have given me an opportunity to rise in consciousness. So every situation, condition, and helps you to rise in consciousness. That is the higher role. That is the meaning that you are in a higher seeker. Sometime our anxiety and the stress does not leave us, then you apply the discernment. You continue to apply the discernment until the mind is clear and you rise in consciousness. That is what the evolution is. I'll point you out practically in your daily life. So, another point to understand is 5S. I told you 5E and the 5S. The way our masters have given these 5S, means the 5 words starting from S, gives you a clear picture of the entire journey. But now in this Sadhana Panchakam, uh, we will take the help of Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, Tantra Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all yogas together. So will we study everything in detail? No, what is required? What is required in our journey of self-discovery? That has been the idea of our great masters. What we do in our country, I mean to say in US and other parts of the world also. Oh, Hatha Yoga is different. Ashtanga Yoga is different. No, Yoga is only one. They are the different approaches. Why they are different approaches? Because I have to settle this mind, this ego, this delusion. Are you getting it? So that is what this sadhana panchakam helps us to understand. It does not say I'm specialized in Hatha Yoga. You're specialized in Hatha Yoga, you do 20 postures. And then what is specialization? Now you are doing 40 postures, you are still stuck at the postures level. Do you see that? Oh, now I can twist my spine like a gymnast. That was not the goal of yoga. But everything is okay. At least this is a part of the promotion of yoga. So same thing with the kundalini, same thing with the mantra, same thing with the karma yoga. So we have to extract the cream. from these different schools of yoga, and we will apply in our daily life by understanding clearly. So let us return to the 5S. What is this 5S? So first S is known as sadhana. The sadhana means practice. Simple language. So it means the practice to become a seeker. I should become an eligible seeker. So I have become an eligible seeker. So now I have to do the next group of practices. So I recognize the word is suffering. I practice the discernment. So like this, there are series of the steps and practices clearly laid down by our masters. Yes, mental purification. I have to do certain practices of mental purification. The first S is sadhana. Sadhana normally means the practice. And then what is the second one? Second one is the sadhya. What is sadhya? The goal. What is the goal of Eastern wisdom? It is self-discovery. Why I picked up the three levels of reality? That is, the sadhya is to find that absolute reality. What is absolute reality? Is the real self. The real self is the supreme self. So I know the exact nature of this entire world outside. Entire world outside. Something is popping up in my mind. The couple is here, my daughter, and they are still working today. So since I think the message was given to me by my master more than 42 years ago, that don't leave working. Always keep your mind busy in the journey of the Eastern wisdom, whatever the professional activities you are doing. Why I'm saying so? Seem like son and seem like daughter. They say, no, I have a work to do. I said, come on, continue working. So it become a contagious to both of them. And I appreciate it. I will take care of myself. And that is one attitude. It brings success in anything, not only in self-discovery. Sadhya is the goal of life. Goal of life, not goal in life. Goal in life at the personal level, at the professional level, at the social level, at the family level. But goal of life that is present in at the personal, professional, social means I think, speak, and act out of the real self in my personal, professional, social, family life. That is what we say is awake. So that is the second S. The second S. The third S is the seeker, sadhaka. Huh? Third S is the seeker. Am I a seeker? I am a seeker, but I have lot of problems, and hence I postpone all the practices. So you are not a seeker. You are not a seeker. You have given an opportunity to the delusion, which is the stress and anxiety, to take over you. So you are not a seeker. That is the third S. And the fourth S is known as the Siddha. Siddha means the perfected. Buddha is known as the Siddha. Also, his another name is the Siddha. All the awakened people are given a name, Siddha. Siddha means the perfected ones. What is the perfected one? I abide in this. I abide in the absolute reality. That is the simple abidance in the absolute reality, but not ignoring the transactional reality where the science has done a tremendous progress, and recognizing that psychological reality also, like the dream and the waking state. So there is an internal transformation. So that is the fourth one, is the Siddha. And the fifth one, what happens? You will be amazed. You need not to wear the orange colored robes to prove that you are a monk. So the fifth S is known as sadhu. Sadhu literally means the monk. You become a monk inside. I don't want to be a monk. The world is cruel. You are not a Sikh. You can deal with any level of cruelty. Yes, whatever has to happen, it will happen one day. For example, Terry wrote a big email that, it's not fair enough to come to me. And, so I see the transactional reality, the fact, and accordingly taken a decision. So it does not mean the awakened says, oh, cruelty, then what? I will face the cruelty. Then you will not continue to live with the body. So you take a right decision at a right time. And sometime your existence proves otherwise. So a monk, sadhu, the fifth one, is fifth S is known as the monk. Let us use the real life story in the life of the Buddha. Buddha was crossing a forest where a great criminal and gangster lived. His name was Anguli Mal. Anguli means finger. So what he used to do, whosoever used to cross that forest, he used to cut the finger, sew it in a thread, and used to wear it. And then he used to kill and snatch all the stuff. It explains everything about the 5S. That is why I thought better to relate it to the story. Buddha said, I will go, fearlessness. So unless we become the Buddha, then we should follow this example. So he was crossing the figure, and the same criminal comes in front. Don't you, aren't you scared that nobody told you? I am so famous, Anguli Mal, a dacoit and a criminal. I kill people and snatch everything. Buddha calmly said, yes, I know. But I wanted to ask you a question, and that is why I was crossing this forest calmly. Can I maintain that state of the calmness? You just start looking at it, analyze the entire story. What is your question? Tell me fast so that I kill you, and whatever you have in your bag, I will take it to my family. Oh, that is the question I want to ask you. Do you realize that you kill people and you commit a sin? Yes, I commit a sin, but I'm committing a sin for my family, for my livelihood. Oh, that is the question I'm going to ask you. What is the question? Spell out immediately. The Buddha said, I was little worried you commit sin for your family. Does any member of your family is ready to take your sin so that you remain free? Oh, they all are ready. They all share my sin. Buddha said, I have a doubt. You tie me with this tree here. Go back to your home. Ask everyone, your parents, your son, and your wife, if they are ready to accept the sin which you commit. I'm okay. You see the contemplation, you see the power of the faith, you see the power in which you live fearlessly. You look at the Buddha. Understand, contemplate and reflect. You are already fed before you are crossing the forest. Do you see that? Don't go. He does this. He cut the fingers, then he decapitate your head, and he snatches everything. So this criminal said, okay, let me tie you and go back to my home and ask. So first he went to his father. I have been feeding you. Do you accept the sins which I commit? No, it's your duty. It's your responsibility to feed me. I'm old. I'm not ready to commit your sin. He went to his mom. Mom said the same thing. He went to his wife. Wife said same. No, you are my husband. You have to earn. I'm not going to accept any sin that you commit. It's yours. Let me translate in a modern way. Are you in anxiety? You are not worthy of suffering. Why you are suffering? No, I have an anxiety. No, you are not worthy of suffering. Anxiety does not belong to you. Message is very clear, my friends. And the criminal then asked his son that, come on, dad, you are taking care of me. I have yet to earn. Go to a college. And he returned frustrated, and he fell down at the feet of the Buddha, untying him. He became one of the great disciples and the great masters in the tradition of the Buddha. I'll tell you the name later. Find out. He went to the China and other parts of the world from India, and then he conveyed that message. How long it took him to become a monk? How long it took him to become a seeker? Instantly, realization, understanding. He left the entire family. Only the practice takes the time. Only the practice takes the time. And once he reached to that absolute reality. He became one of the dearest student and the great master of in the traditional Buddhism. And that is why I talked about this 5S. So don't forget the 4 powers of the intellect, the 5E, the 5S, which will give you an overview in your head, in your intellect instantly. And if I deviate from there, you can catch me. And I will return to the same uh, traditional way of entering into the journey of self-discovery. So, my friends, close your eyes. Eyes are closed, and now I'll delve a little deeper into these 5S again, one more time, so that you are clear. I believe you are clear by this real life story. Are you ready for meditation? PPP, place, position, posture. So the place you become aware, bring awareness and attention on the space around you. Stage 1, first step. So I'm just making a mathematical way of doing it so you know that in any practice of meditation, are you doing any other practice of meditation by other teacher? Follow the stage 1, then follow other practice. I have no objection at all. So bring awareness and attention on the space around you. Enjoy the movement. Enjoy that space all around your body. There is a nothingness in the space. You see how I expand each step slowly, step by bring awareness and attention on the body. Love your body. Don't get attached to the body. Oh, there should be check that you have a smile on the face. Find limbs are relaxed. Eyes closed gently. Eyeball is not moving here and there. White is not moving here and there. You have no intention to see anything outside. That is, if the eyeballs are moving, obviously you have an intention to see the things uh, directed by the mind. Clear. Nothing to recognize any sound, taste, touch inside. You hear them. All the five sense organs in a waking state are always active. Let them be active. But it doesn't pick up it doesn't recognize the object, it doesn't get attached to the object. Why? The mind will calm down, sit on the sense organs, contemplate and reflect what it means after the meditation. Sit on the sense organs, not on the objects of the senses. You see, the knowledge, the intellect is very much required in the journey of the self discovery. No cult, no dogma, no belief, no blind belief is required. That is what I have been saying since the journey we started a couple of years ago. Remain aware inside. Now it gives you an opportunity to be aware inside. And there we are comfortable. I'm not spending a lot of time on being comfortable. I will do later. Being comfortable, being carefree, and now your intellect reflects on the mantra Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. I don't mean whether you remember the mantra in Sanskrit or not, it doesn't make any difference. You are not learning Sanskrit language. But do you know the essence? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Happiness for all means everywhere. It is absolute reality. Oh, that is my journey. Yes. The intellect should acknowledge this. The intellect is not acknowledging and it falls into the delusion. And then we have hallucination and imagination in meditation, which we claim I have reached there. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Do you reflect? The intellect instantly becomes aware, not of transactional reality, not of psychological reality, but Sarvesham, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all, wholeness in all. No, my mom is crazy. You don't get, even if the thought passes into your mind, it flies like a wind, has come, touched you, and gone. Why? I am seeking wholeness. I have nothing to blame and complain and react anyone. Why I blame, complain, and react to anyone in the world? Because there is a sense of incompleteness in me. Are you getting it? Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. So when happiness, absolute, peace, absolute, sense of completeness obviously is absolute. Then there is always an auspiciousness. When? Here and now. That state of the mind is required. That is highly purified state of the mind, my friends. So there I added that I added one more passive step, which seems to be useless in the beginning, but it will have a deeper level. What is that? Check that I'm living within. There is another way that just look inside the forehead in the space or center of the forehead, if I say center of the forehead. That is what we see the third eye symbolic. Let us have that. So you are aware of it. You don't, your mind does not try to look. The physical eye does not imagine. It is pure awareness. With that awareness, you are aware of the space around your body, horizontal movement. I'm making you familiar. Okay. As if you know you are on a highway and then you pass different streets, different houses, you reach to your home. So everything is the high horizontal movement. You take an exit or a ramp, and ultimately you land up, you're moving horizontally. You're not flying. So that is try to understand that clearly the space around your body, then the another layer of horizontal movement is the body. Yes, another layer, I go inside and I look at the breath awareness. Then I look inside. Beyond the breath is the thought, feeling, and emotions at this time. Beyond that, there is I-ness and I thought. Beyond that, there is only an emptiness and a space or blankness, whatever it is. Can I feel that I'm living within? It has nothing to do with living within the body. It is something different and separate. Can you get a feel? Can you experience that state is important? And then we move to the second stage. And in the second stage, pranayama, pratyahara, viveka, or the discernment, and the japa all together. So I have combined this. Look into this. I say, look inside the forehead in the space, pick a point in the space, and start dropping Om Shanti there, gentle. Om Shanti, non verbally, without moving the lips and the tongue. That is the highest form of the japa, when you don't take the help of the breath in the body. And then check that the body is in a state of the stillness. Very good. And then you start breathing quick and fast from the ribs through the nostrils. Every time you inhale, the chest expands, chest contracts. When you exhale, Shanti continues, the stillness continues, and your intellect is also aware of the mantra peace, happiness, completeness, auspiciousness. In that auspiciousness movement, you continue the journey. So, objections of the mind, you already know. Any resistance, use your intellect. Intellect, invoke endurance. If any resistance comes, no, I'm into anxiety, I feel a different sensation in the body while doing the breathing, I will not do it. No, intellect, endurance, until you reach to a point where you feel everything is moving naturally. That is what is the meaning? Joy of doing. What is the joy of doing? You increase your satogana. Oh, that is why we are doing. Now you see that I've answered all your doubts. So you look into Continue the journey. I have to do nothing, I have to speak nothing, just resistance, endurance, joy of doing. Sato. You're breathing, you're aware of the mantra, you're aware of the stillness in the body. Continue. Now stop everything. The next step is from the active mind to passive mind is pratyahara. What you do, you bring your awareness on the flow of the breath. Check which flow is less, you pay attention there. But now I can directly say pay attention to the flow of the breath from both the nostrils. So we will find every time the flow of the breath is equal. You have to understand, even if the flow of the breath is equal, Mind does not recognize easily that we are living within. And that is why we are repeating. Yes, so then there is another step when we see the horizontal movement in a different way. How we see? You look at the space, okay, the space outside the body. Very good. And then the space is blank. Very good. And then you go to the skin of the body. The sensations we experience. That sensation may be tingling, numbness, heaviness, lightness, whatever the experience you acknowledge. Then we find a relaxation. What is relaxation? Without any object. Means what? Does not depend on, does not depend any on any object outside. Relaxation. And then it is the stillness in the body. The stillness in the body. Very good. And now look inside. I said sensation again inside is a signature of calmness. And the space within, you can see it clearly, is a sign of quietness. Again, I explained to you, the more you settle into relaxation, stillness, calmness, and quietness, what is going to happen? You can withdraw the mind into the quietness whenever the past impression causes the anxiety and the reaction. That is why I'm explaining it. So, okay, what is calmness? The thoughts are there. I recognize them, thought, feeling, and emotions of anxiety, but they are too far. And in the state of the quietness, they are very far to disturb me. And the stillness prevents the mind to run after these negative tendencies. So that needs to be recognized. Again, it is a horizontal movement. So because we are unable to recognize every time, so we have to support it with the nyasa. You start breathing deep, silent, and slow, whatever you can afford without any unease and discomfort. The best way to recognize, be aware and attentive. As you inhale, first the belly expands, then the rib cage in one breath. Belly contracts and the rib cage contracts while exhaling. First thing, we have to give it a direction. So as you inhale, move the mind from the top center of the head, going down into the spine, reaching to the tailbone. And you are singing Om Shanti. Shanti ends at the tailbone. We are sinking. And as you exhale, Om begin Shanti at the top of the head. So you are just telling the mind, why don't you move along the spine? Why to have a vertical movement? One, to be away from the impurity of the mind. Two, so Om Shanti, movement of the mind along the spine from the top center of the head to the tailbone, from the tailbone to the top center of the head, and Stillness in the body remains. You recognize the mind is still living within. It did not pick up any thought, feeling, and emotion. It is not at unease. Very good. Continue, my friends. I'll be adding a couple of more steps in the stage two, but now we'll move to the stage three. Leave the step and start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 fingers. It is a test, it is an examination. Mind, you continue to live within. All your senses are sitting within the mind or not. And that you recognize and realize. First time you will see what it means by sitting on the sense organs. So you continue Om Shanti on the 16 segments of fingers without physically touching, without chanting loudly. Everything is mental. So it means what? Sense organ of hearing in the mind, sense organ of speaking in the mind, sense organ of touch in the mind, and that accumulates the prana. It is like a, when you convex lens or concave, convex lens, sun rays are gathered and it can burn the paper. So that idea is here. So we conserve the prana, we preserve the prana, the energy, not to be distracted by any sense organs, but it remains with the mantra Om Shanti. And that goes a long way. We'll add a couple of more steps to help you realize and experience. And now is the time to move the mind inside the heart, visualize any triangle, a equilateral triangle of any color. Move the mind clockwise and anti-clockwise on each side, dropping on Shanti. So here you are so normal, natural. You look at the side on Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and couple of times clockwise and anti-clockwise movement, and then you realize there is a sync. That is the movement where you push your mind singing mentally. That Om takes your mind deep inside the cave of your heart. When you see the mind seemingly stops, you drop Shanti, and what you have to do? Do nothing. Allow the real self to do everything, to reveal itself. Continue. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your awareness on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. Um, a good lesson. Thank you. I recall in the past you used a term that I had written down, and you actually said it a little differently today. But it's every situation is an opportunity to rise in consciousness, and that's always sat with me. And I'm realizing with each lesson, and as my practice deepens, I'm understanding that more and more, and have a lot of clarity with that, which is leading to my meditation, which today was seamless. It was fast. I can't believe how quick it went. I heard and was aware of every transition of each step, but it was almost as if from the different breath work to the japa and the triangle, I was immediately absorbed into the peace and calmness within myself. And it was just a great experience. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, every problem, adversity is an opportunity. We have to see with reference to the psychological reality, deluded reality, with reference to transactional reality, and with reference to the absolute reality. Once we have that awareness, we instantly recognize, oh, adversity. It's a psychological reality inside you. So you move to the transactional reality and you stay there and it is gone. But it demands a lot of commitment and practice. That is what you referred, yes, every problem. And seamless obviously indicates the purity of the mind. That is why the mind settles deeper within. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. How are you, Brandy?
Thank you. To kind of piggyback on what Stephen said, I had a lot of external challenges during my practice today. So I had opportunities, right? We'll call them opportunities, Stephen. So I think it's, to your point, like when we have these opportunities, it can deepen our practice. You know, it's when it's easy. And today the dog was barking the entire time. I pulled several ticks off my body before the practice, and so I was like, you know, itchy. And anyway, thank you. I still had
Yes,
a
yes. Acknowledgement is also a good thing. You see that there is a very deep relationship between the mosquito and meditation, or flies in the meditation. So when the mind is withdrawn outside through its sense organ, that mosquito and the fly becomes very big, greater than me. And so that I continue to remember, that comes from the psychological reality. And once you recognize, you get rid of it. Yes, but the acknowledgement is wonderful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Just very grateful for the richness of the practice, the Eastern wisdom, the history, the knowledge, and just how you explain it. I just thoroughly enjoyed that lesson. And my meditation was blank. Is the only way I can describe it. It was very deep, very peaceful, and blank.
Beautiful. You see, when you say deep, blank, or Stephen used the word seamless, it means that we bypassed all the impurities of the mind, objections of the mind. So that is how we have to recognize each and every experience. It's a beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I really like the story. I had heard that story before, and it's a really great story. I like, and the meditation was very deep, absorbed,
Yes.
relaxed. Yeah.
Very good. When we have again, you see, when you say meditation is very much absorbed, there is a kind of self-absorption. Obviously, those impurities are not attacking me during the practice of meditation. And the story, now we need to contemplate on the story again and again and again. Now, mentally, psychologically, when someone is hitting you mentally or emotionally, you have to visualize that you are the Buddha and this guy. Mentally, don't tell them outwardly, and then solve your problem. But if you declare that you look like a then you are adding a lot of conflict. Yes, how are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My meditation was comfortable and very peaceful. All active steps were natural and seamless. Some thoughts were there, but they were taking just a tiny percent of my awareness, and the majority of awareness was on the space at the end.
Beautiful. You see, that is another expression that it is not only seamless, but even the thoughts are there. And that is what I explained to you. The calmness, you can see that calmness is here and the thoughts are here. I recognize, I acknowledge it, but my mind is not going there. That is the state of the calmness. And then what is the state of the quietness? Quietness is too far. Oh, I see them, the birds are flying, and casually I look at it. Randy, you look at those flies like in the state of the quietness. So that will help us too. But it happens. It's okay. But your acknowledgement is very straight, and that I love it. So how are you, Christina?
I'm well, thank you. What landed for me today was it feels like I've lived in different worlds that are not real, the sleeping, the waking, and now as we're getting deeper and experiencing a deeper quietness, I guess the being state.
Yes. Yes.
So just this illusion of what was real is really coming to light.
Beautiful. You have given good words, so I will explain. Becoming at one level is a psychological reality. Becoming at different level is the transactional reality. But being is the absolute reality. So the entire journey of self-discovery is to recognize becoming and alter the becoming. Why you alter the becoming? Because I have a thought, speech, and action by which I do it, and that comes under practices. So I recognize and acknowledge at present the becoming, and then I bring about a change by the becoming. So from the becoming, I move to nothing, and from the nothingness, I enter into being. That being is the absolute reality. So, okay, I have entered into the being, then what? From the being, now you enter into the becoming in a purified state. That is what is the awakened state is. You have understood? Good. If you did not understand, that too is good. Yeah, I'm going to explain. Are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. So absorbed into the quick and fast breathing that when you said continue, I was startled. And then each other segment of the meditation, I wanted to last longer. I didn't want each one of them to stop. And altogether, it was extremely peaceful.
Peaceful, yes. You see that, I could see the purified state of the mind. The other steps are easy. Sailing, that is another way to look at it. I have to recognize these experiences. I have to acknowledge. And that is what you all have been doing it. I appreciate it. Thank you. How are you, Terry?
I was in the my awareness was on the practices, and it was fairly smooth until right at the end.
Beautiful.
Then I got some my involuntary things interfering.
Yes.
And but
you are not disturbed.
Well, no. Well, I didn't like it. I thought, why are my hands moving? I didn't move it.
Yes.
Why is it moving? And then, but I didn't dwell on it either.
So reflect on it. Why your cell is working all the time? Why your heart is pumping all the time? Why you are breathing all the time?
Huh. Yeah, but my hands wouldn't. They would not be still.
No problem.
I was trying to hold them.
Your hand became the fly of brandy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That is what we have to acknowledge.
Yes.
So when you acknowledge, moving, thank you, because I'm not the body. Point of cognition is required to transition from the psychological, again I'm saying psychological reality, to transactional to, so it purifies them. Yeah, it comes by regular practice. No worries. Very good. Thank you, my friends. We'll meet again. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.